And welcome back, guys, to Mythic versus 3-Sup. We are getting the round underway. Things are getting started. We've got 3-Sup starting CT side. Mythic going to be taking the terrorist side. We'll see what they're able to make happen. Keep in mind, this is a relatively CT-sided map. Definitely something that will play into what ends up happening here. You want to get as much of a lead on T side starting off as you can, which is typical with CSGO. Nothing new to most of you guys there, I'm sure. But early on here, we do see... I actually just noticed that my game is currently bugged. There we are. We do see... you know, I'm going to have to pass this to you later. You go ahead and take on from here. I've got to restart my game. I apologize for that.
Go for it. I'm actually having similar issues as well with the lack of radar, but either way, I'm confident in my ability to figure it out. It looks like it's going to break down to a cat and B split, with Anger now bringing the bomb in. Abe's really going to be the only player that can do anything about it with 4 HP. He's an easy frag for Lex, so 3-on-2. None of the CTs really in great position to work this as a team. They're actually been pinching from opposite angles here. Davey coming in through the kitchen. His teammate in Jason R going to be on the upper apartments flank. He may actually be able to get the best of Lex here while his teammate's doing good damage in on Anger. This round's actually breaking down way closer than I thought it would be. Jason R, P250 hand, one clip. Oh man, Anger gets the frag onto his teammate Davey, so that should, in theory, ruin Jason R's chances of winning this round, and it does just that. Anger, 3 on the round, able to clean up the last one with just 8 HP. Really solid round from him, and a great strat breakdown from Mythic.
Yeah, and I did finally figure out the issue. Just had to restart there. I've got my radar back up and running. It threw me off for a moment. I apologize for that, but good job picking it up there for me. I appreciate that. Mythic does take that round, and starting off, Jason R doing his best to make things happen there, but not able to secure anything, unfortunately. Anger with the 3K there, first round. Well done by him. And we are going to see a quick A push here. We've got the AK and some of the wheels. P90's out. Should be an easy sight take as Anger is able to pick up the kill onto Abe before trying to jump over to Stair. But from underneath Palace, we've got Davey picking up Double Walk before Lex responds himself. Anger trying to spray through that smoke, rather, not able to secure the kill. The bomb not able to go down, though, because we do have Eco over to the CT spawn to stop the plant. But then we've got a quick cleanup from Pith and Anger, finishing the round. Mythic taking second round here. 3-Sup, still going to be saving, obviously, until they are able to get into that 4th round buy-up, and then we'll be able to see them at full power, but I don't expect to see much of anything too surprising here. And I do want to harken back to what we were saying before the game started. CSGO Lounge odds here are, they set steady at 39 to 61 with Mythic, the expected loss here. But if they can continue this sort of lead that they've got going on early on, obviously it's not a gun round yet, but we'll see if they're able to continue this pressure that they've been putting on 3-Sup. Look at these phenomenal smokes, keeping Stairs and keeping Connector and Jungle all smoked off, but Pith does get spotted out by Kiko with that USPS just around the edge of that smoke there before Kiko ends up being taken advantage of in the exact same way. Lex gets the kill, Anger following up on Jason as well. 1v4, last man standing is Davey, and he is dropped by Lex, and Mythic takes the 3rd round, 0-3 going into the gun round.
Some solid anti-eco rounds coming in from Mythic, just accomplishing exactly what they needed to do. As you said, really well put together, working as a team, good smokes and flashes to get their fraggers with rifles out there with some elbow room to work, and they did just that. The only gun they lost on that last round was the P90. That's not a terrible loss. We're probably going to rebuy that anyway. They would have kept 4 players alive in both rounds, so really efficient rounds there from Mythic, working well off of the initial pistol round, and they worked so well, in fact, they've actually been able to hold 3-Sup off of and off. So you'd think XP3, up in hand, would be able to have a high impact on this round, but we'll see exactly how it breaks down. We're going to see some slightly slower play here from Mythic now that the firepower differential is more even.
Yeah, that early frag bringing Anger down to 70 health, rather, is gonna make him have to be just a little bit more careful. We've got Jason R backing up to make sure that nobody's pushing from mid onto Cat here. And I don't think Mythic has, or I'm sorry, I don't think 3-Sup has much of an idea of what's going on right now. Anger was able to make it into ladder room. I don't believe his position is known. If he does peek into window room, he may be able to pick up a kill. But everyone just sitting back, playing patient. Bomb making its way back towards A site right now. Davies still doing the jump peek over from Ticket Booth. On A site, we've got the smokes, we've got the flashes coming in. The execute begins. Devil Walk throwing one last grenade before pulling out his gun as Davey backs up from Ticket Booth. Has to stay back in that corner, watching that fire, making sure that it's not going to end up taking it on. I don't think that I think that fire is close enough that they don't know that Davy's there. They're not going to be watching that corner now because they believe that fire cleared it out. And Arya able to pick up the kill onto Lex as Davy's still jumping around. Jason getting aggressive, not able to take out Pith. That AK is just too much to deal with. Arya grabbing a kill before being picked up himself. And Davy, the savior of the round for Threes Up, who will take the first rifle round here. Threes Up making it 1-3, but back to what you were talking about earlier, efficiency here. Not a very efficient round for Threes Up, losing 4 members. That's going to be rough for them financially.
Yeah, but luckily Davy is able to come away with that off, so they should be able to keep it competitive in this round, buying up around that, but certainly Mythic built up a huge bankroll to go into this round, so it's going to be actually another solid rifle round coming out for both of these teams. I'm sure Lax will be grabbing a gun as well momentarily. Maybe not. Does he just not have a gun, or is he just going to be buying late?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he's buying late. Here comes a decoy from him. He's tossing.
He didn't
that
buy
out
anything.
as well.
He's leaving. He didn't buy anything. He's just rocking the Glock and AIDS, unless he's now realizing that he didn't buy anything. There he is. Okay.
There he goes.
Now he's not even back for Nick. I was going to say, this is a crazy strat, or I can't see the gun that's on the ground. Either way, really, and that last one, there was really great plays from Arya there. Davy ended up being the kicker to get that last pickup. A huge individual play from Arya. As I said, those multi-kill rounds really rack you up points for alpha draft. So if you're going to be picking a roster, Arya's a really great player to have for you. Huge 4K from him on that last round. And in a similar situation here, Paris just not quite getting the trades that they need.
Those kills there. It's suddenly a 2v3, but Pith was able to make it all the way out to stairs. Look at the flashes. Pith with the 2 kills, Anger with the 3rd. That is not how that round should have ended up. That team, that's where you see how these teams communicate. You see Pith in that smoke, staring at the ground. The flash comes overhead, blinds the entire enemy team, and Pith is able to take huge advantage of that, and they turn that 2v3 into their favor, and Mythic takes the round. That was phenomenal gameplay there.
Certainly, great, more individual plays and stepping up for his team. Pitt is just one of those players that is a huge damage dealer. Just such an experienced player. You're never going to be able to catch a player like Pitt off guard anywhere, any map, any situation. So good on him for stepping up when he needed to. And that was actually a really big round for Mythic, especially a round that wasn't going well for them in the beginning. For it to break their way at the end, economically, absolutely huge. They're on the T side of the map. They got the momentum early. They're forcing Threes Up onto a save right now. Things are looking good. If they could really dominate here, get a bomb plan, and not give up too many rifles, they're just going to be well on their way to cruise their way to victory.
Yeah, and you can see whenever you get into this win-loss pattern, that Threes Ups, they're not exactly in that pattern yet, but if they're not careful, they'll find themselves in it, where they're able to win a round and then instantly turn around and lose. That puts you in such a rough financial position. It can typically result in having double saves and things like that you really want to avoid. We've got Jason still watching Cat right now. Bombs down B, probably just going to be going for some exit frags here, see if he can get a gun or two out of the hands of some Mythic players. Yeah, both all 3 Jason, Davy, and Abe here. That spray down, though, from Lex with the AK is not going to allow any exit frags from their end. Pith ready and waiting for Jason to come out of window room. It's going to be Devil Walk that secures the final kill. 5-1. Threes Up. They're going to have to save again. Like I said, that double save is just not a situation you want to find yourself in.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to cut round 5 pretty close with, that was the round where Pitt made that incredible flash play to win the round, but for the most part, Mythic's been kind of dominating. The one Threes Up round when they had was a round where they're only able to keep 1 player alive, so Threes Up just losing all their players every round, being forced to rebuy constantly, and not finding that economic solvency. But they have a trap set up here on A. Kiko going to be punishing a bunch of players, but 2-for-2 trade overall.
Probably Threes Up was hoping for. We get another trade going on here, 2v2 now, with Pith and Lex last men standing. And we've got AKs in the hands of Jason and Davy. Bomb, though, making its way towards B site now. Honestly, though, this round is already pretty much a win for Threes Up. Coming into this with an eco, Pith heard all of that noise being made there from Davy, though. Bomb's already on B site, 1v2. I think Jason may have heard some movement from Pith, but he's going to get spotted out through the smoke. No, actually, it's going to be backing up, and Pith just quietly pushing up from Cat with his teammate and Jason, saving that AK. Smart move. No, he's saving the op, rather. He was able to pick that up, and going to be some money in the hands of his team. But yeah, that was actually, in my opinion, that was a win for Threes Up. Getting 3 kills there was just about the best that they could hope for.
Yeah, I guess if they could have denied a plan or maybe even just stolen a fourth, I'd be a little more convinced. I honestly think it's going to be what they're able to do with that op that they are saving. They're going to be saving themselves a gun down the line. That's a lot of money they're going to be holding onto. What can they do with it? I'm not sure if I'm ready to call it a victory just grabbing it. They have to make effective use of it and punish Mythic and start to string together some rounds, or else it's going to be all for naught anyway. And that is going to slide into the hands of Arya. So let's see a little Arya XP3 duel here. XP3 looks like he's gearing up towards mid. Arya as well. Ah, man, Arya's going to be going B toward, or even potentially Cat with it. So not quite going to get that duel that I so badly want. But eventually, we'll get it. We'll get it. And I'm also curious to see who's going to be more effective with their ops in kind of the off positions, not just playing the classic mid setup, who can be effective with it at the sites. But right now, Arya in the ladder room in a great position to catch one right there in anger, teaming up so well with Pico on Cat, who's able to get two. Huge frag for 3's up.
Yeah, Arya is someone you really don't want to come across an op, or you really don't want to op battle in general, or even come across him with an op in hand, and he does show that exactly as Mythic's opper, XP3 I believe it was, ended up getting caught out on Cat, not able to really make it work for him. Devil Walk though, look at his positioning, not able to secure any kills with it unfortunately. Did take them by surprise a little bit, but had 3 members of 3's Up step out at the exact same time. Maybe that's where they get their name from, who knows. But 3's Up will be taking their second win here, 2-6. And very important round, like you said, that that last round wasn't much of a win unless they were able to make that op work for them. So they did just that and took their second win here, but they're really not going to be able to give Mythic any more slack than they already have if they don't want to put themselves in a very scary spot in this game. This is, as I said at the beginning of the match, a CT-sided map, and 7 to 8 wins on T-side is a pretty comfy spot to be.
Yeah, if I'm putting up 6 to 7 Terrace side round wins, I'm feeling really confident going into the CT side, but we've seen some pretty crazy stuff, and you're absolutely right. That round was the victory that 3's Up needed from, whatever, 2 rounds ago. Not only did they work the op and everyone was able to get fragged, but they were able to keep everyone alive. So they went from rounds where they're having to rebuy every gun except for 1 to rounds where they are barely spending any money. And 3's Up needs to keep this going. They really need to start to string together rounds here. Jason Nar spotting Pit out in underpasses is a good start. Going to be mauling him away, just keeping himself safe. Good start to controlling the pace of the round, but these Mythic players are just fraggers, so still going to be tough.
Yeah, and with no deaths yet and 57 seconds remaining, we're going to have to see some decisions made by Mythic here. And keep in mind, folks, this is Mythic's pick. And I noticed that a lot of teams that are confident in their Mirage capabilities tend to have much stronger T-sides, as since it is a CT-sided map, they put a lot of work into these T-strats. And coming up here, we'll see Davey trying to get into position on T-ramp, but not quite able to get in time as that Molotov drops down. Will stop some of the push, and Abe securing the kill onto Lex as Jason jumping over Ticket Booth to drop Pith, who made it all the way out into Sandwich there. But Jason not letting him get any further onto site. Arya with that Kobe dropping Devil Walk, as well as XP3 drops Arya. Trades left and right, but Anger coming in with those final 2 frags, taking the round for Mythic with only 10 seconds remaining. So great teamwork there, good execution from Mythic overall. But again, that's going to be one of those slightly costlier rounds with 2 members standing, and that's it for Mythic. So little painful financially, but obviously not going to put them in any spot to be worried about quite yet.
No, and being a terrorist in this game is just so cheap. $3,700 gets you really all you need to win a round if you're a fragger. So, yeah, Mythic's still doing decently financially. And thank God 3's Up won that round before so cleanly, or else they would be in trouble right now. The fact that they didn't have to rebuy any guns before is the only reason why they're able to stay competitive, and the only reason why Arya is getting these opening picks like he is. Either way, I feel like 3's Up is doing such a great job of getting early trades, and then at some point in the round, it really varies when, but someone on Mythic makes a crazy individualistic play. It was Pit before with the Flash. It was Anger last round stepping up with that 2K through connector. It was Anger on pistol round as well. There's just so many opportunities for their players to step up and make these plays, and they're doing just that. But rounds like this, 3's Up just mopping them up before Mythic can even get out there and find that wiggle room, that elbow room that they need.
Yeah, Mythic seems to be sort of like the injured animal that you really don't want to corner. If you do, you're going to end up seeing it lash out at you. As you said, we've seen Pith and Anger both do. XP3, though, great game sense there, stopping for just a moment to see if anybody was going to be peeking into T-Apps. He's going to be pushing his way further forward, gets that smoke down. Not really coming up against any opposition quite yet, but as soon as he makes it out of the smoke, he will. But the quick scope onto Kiko will get him the kill. He has no idea, though, that Jason is standing there on site, and he will get the bomb plant down. Jason chose the wrong angle to step out from to stop the plant, so that is just about the best position that XP3 could have hoped to find himself in there, getting that bomb plant down and just getting Mythic a little bit more cash. But 3's up, will be taking a third round, but they're already in a bit of a rough spot. They can't slip up from this point on.
Certainly not. They can't give up a half win to Mythic from the Terra side. I really just don't see them being able to battle back from there. But I think we're counting our chickens perhaps a little too early, because Mythic right there getting that plant was kind of like putting a band-aid on a bullet hole. They're really not financially there, but they're trying to force it. They have Double Watch just rocking a Tech 9, no rifle for him on the round. Lex himself with the Galil, and this aggressive CT setup here it's going to punish one of these teams. I'm not exactly sure who yet. XP3 taking the brunt of the force thus far as Anger picks up 2. Good to start for him, trying to figure out where he's getting shot at from. Deals even more damage. Anger, relax, you're doing so much already. Let some of your teammates help out. Either way, 4 on 3 now, as Mythic somehow came out on top there.
Yeah, is it just me, or does 3's up have some anger issues? Sorry. Anyways, yeah, Anger definitely making 3's up work for this round if they want to make anything out of it. And this buy-up so far was working out for Mythic until Davey gets that blind kill, gets a second onto Pith before finally being picked up by that Tech Knife from Devil Walk, and it's all of a sudden a 1v1 as Arya, trying to watch that corner of smoke, has that op in hand, but pulls out the 5-7, can't make it happen as Devil Walk was able to get that Galil and finish the round. And really great clutch there. I don't want to call it a clutch. Really great end of a round there from Devil Walk, securing that win for Mythic and sort of pushing them into that golden zone. That's the first half. Mythic has taken it. They've put themselves in a dominating position, and from here on, we need to see what 3's up response is going to be. Are they going to continue to let Mythic sort of steamroll these rounds? I've seen a lot of sort of falling apart here from 3's up. We've got some decent beginnings, some decent trades, great team play, and we may see just that as Pith comes against a rushing group of 3's up, and we do actually see a trade happen here. Anger drops down as well, picks up Arya, who wasn't able to secure that final kill, and Anger again with another kill. What's he at as far as frags? 17 and 5 right now. Golly.
Yeah, an Anger issue was absolutely right, as much as it was a groaner of a pun. He is certainly giving 3's up just tons and tons of trouble right now, fragging everywhere. And that last round, I think, broke down pretty much as we expected. 3's up kind of going for that desperate A stack. Mythic no longer really falling for that. I think a lot of that was the restraint they're showing was really apparent in that round where Anger really stepped up in mid, the one where Double Walk won that crazy one-on-one, a little more crazy than I'm sure he wanted to against Arya, but they're no longer, like, one of the rounds that was cut really close was, oh, that's a kill. See you, Jason R. One of the rounds that was cut close was a round where 3's up stacked really heavily in A, and they're just being that much more aware and conscious of the stacks that they're working their way into, and making sure they're giving themselves favorable situations.
Knows Davey is sitting there with the one Deegan window, waits for it and gets the kill, but Kiko responding with that P250 for the trade. It's a 2v2 now. Again, 3's up showing the damage that they can do in these save rounds. Okay. I was going to say, if Lex can't secure that kill from the side, that would have been a rough way to fall apart there, but it is now a 1v2. Arya able to pick up the AK from mid, is going to make his way through connector right now. I think he's going to save it. I'm not sure if there's much of a well, you know, actually, I take that back. 3-9, he needs to go for this. He doesn't have the room to really let Mythic push any further forward here, so he's going to make his way upstairs over the smoke. Does see XP3 as he jumps up. That could be a Kobe right there. Not quite. XP3 steps away from it, down to 29 health, though, as Lex is at 73 himself. This AK could be just what the doctor ordered, but both of these Mythic players, look how smartly they're playing this. They're not getting aggressive at all, not giving who was it there? Abe,
Arya.
I believe. Arya, that was last standing. Not giving him those kills that he was hoping for. Just playing very defensively, playing that clock, and that's the smart way to play in these competitions.
Yeah, not only were they not getting overly aggressive, but they did actually just the polar opposite. They waited until he couldn't possibly get any closer, and then peek him at the same time. Wait for an opportunity where you can't be lined up, you can't be killed one at a time. They just put 2 crosshairs on him at once, and even if you did just choose one of them and lock in on it, you still wouldn't have won the round. So really solid teamwork there from Mythic, as you were just describing. Now we're seeing a little bit of the other end of the spectrum here for Mythic, getting a little bit aggressive here in mid. Kind of challenging what Threes Up had been throwing at them previously, but Threes Up not messing around at all this round. A frag for Abe and a frag for Arya to start things off.
Seems like they've really sort of been able to figure out Threes Up gameplay here. You'll notice anytime that Threes Up doesn't have a full buy, how aggressive they are, and then as soon as Mythic sees that there's not a lot of aggression coming from Threes Up, they realize that they're going to be able to take like right here, they're going to be able to take mid. They're going to be able to get out there easily. They went all the way down to window, backed all the way up now with little to no contest. I mean, we do see Pith and Lex have fallen, obviously, but they were able to make it all the way down, and that's sort of Threes Up playstyle, it seems. Anytime that they've actually got the ability to sit back and hold, they do just that, but give up a few things as well. We are going to see a quick B push right here. Anger trying to blind Nico as he makes his way up, but Arya waiting for any sort of push to come out of apps and stops the bomb from getting any further onto site as XP3, last man standing, decides to sort of bunny hop right back around where he was coming from. Mythic gonna give this 14th round to Threes Up, and Threes Up is in a bit of a rough spot. We'll see if they're able to pull off as strong a T side as Mythic was able to here.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that they would be able to only just because Mythic has been shooting it and playing so well, but it's going to be interesting. I don't know. These games are such toss-ups. I do really think, despite the score difference here, that these are 2 really evenly matched up teams. And this is Mythic taking an early advantage on their own map choice. Yeah, they are being put on the T side of Mirage, but they still picked Mirage knowing that this was going to be their fate. So this is just kind of things according to plan thus far for Mythic. I don't think they're really fragging out of their minds quite yet. I think they're playing within their comfort zone on their own map choice. They happen to be doing fantastically thus far, but I'm curious what CT side is going to look like, but I'm not ready to write Threes Up off just because of this lackluster CT performance. I think they could potentially impress on the T side, and there's a lot more series to go.
Yeah, we do see an A execute here on the last round of this half. Double walk with the entry onto Kiko makes it a 5v4 at this point. Jason, though, stepping on the other side of that smoke as he's able to dodge the flash just inside of that smoke, catches Pith out of sorts there as Lex is able to step by, mostly flashed it looked like, and secure the kill onto Jason. Abe, though, coming in from behind, is able to secure the kill on XP3 himself. It's a 3v3 now on this retake. Last round of the half, they have no choice but to go for it as Lex drops Arya, bringing it to a 3v2 advantage to Mythic. But that Molotov is going to keep Anger back at least for just a little bit. They know that Devil Walk is going to be coming in from Connector, and Davey watching for that. With only 6 health, Devil Walk is going to have to play his cards right here. But that Molotov on the bomb is going to do it, and that's going to be the last round of the half in favor of Mythic, taking it 11-4. Sorry, bud. It's worth a try, but not quite. And yeah, 11-4 first half goes to Mythic. That's not exactly what I was expecting. I'll be honest. I was expecting a much closer first half.
No, I definitely was as well, but I'm not exactly surprised by the result of Mythic coming out on top. I really thought it would be closer, 9-6, perhaps Threes Up, maybe 8-7 Mythic. Somewhere in that range, could have gone back and forth either way, but I was a little shocked by the lounge odds here. Not that the lounge odds are the end-all, be-all of Counter-Strike matchups. I really felt as though going into the series, this was one where Mythic, I think, was being a little undervalued simply because they haven't had great or just like stellar recent results. And I think people happen to be just riding really high on Threes Up right now. So right now, I think we're just seeing. I feel like I'm seeing pretty much what I expected from both teams thus far, except maybe I'm a little bit impressed with what Mythic is throwing out here. I don't know. I really didn't think that Threes Up at any point was going to crush them. At the very least, on this map, even starting on T side, I kind of just, you know that gut feeling.
Yeah.
It's so hard to describe. I don't know. They have such experienced players. Like just that situation with Devil Walk there in that 2-on-2 with his buddy Anger. Both were in completely different positions and in positions where they could not play off of each other at all. That was pure communication and individual play there, making sure they were on the same page, not having one of them get caught out. They both stayed alive even though they had low HP. They just played that so well, not giving the then counter-terrorist opportunities. I think that is just that just feels like what Mythic is going to be able to deliver all over the place.
Yeah, and I'll vouch for you. You did say before game that Mythic has such an upsettable lineup that they do have the ability to sort of take people by surprise, which is exactly what they're doing so far. But we'll see if they're able to play their CT side as well as they played their T, as we get the first round of the second half underway. We do see we see 3 smokes coming out early on here. This is going to be a very safe A take here from 3's Up as they take the site very strategically. We see the connector smoke come down. I believe that CT is going to be smoked off as well, and just the smoke right there in the middle of the site is going to keep them safe from anybody who may be hiding over towards Ticket Box. Arya jumping over stairs, trying to get those aggressive picks with that Glock in hand. Brought down to 1 health, though, and forced to back off until Lex actually steps off from Ticket Booth and is able to secure that kill. He does get dropped by Jason, though, and Anger responds with a kill onto Abe as Davey brings down Devil Walk. It's a 3v3 as the retake from Mythic begins. The flash comes down. XP3 does get the headshot onto Davey, though, to bring it to a 2v2. Kiko back at Firebox, can't really secure it, but we've got Jason over on T stairs. Look at that.
No way.
Does get the kills. The 2K from Jason. Phenomenal headshot onto Pith, and then flicks up to Anger to finish it off. What?
Yeah, for a second there, I was really, really concerned for that 1-on-2 from the terrorist there. That would have just been crushing. That would have been a crushing one to lose, especially with all the work they did leading up to it. Just great trades back and forth. If I were to lodge a complaint against 3's Up Taker, I would say some of their players overextended, particularly in mid. Window play was kind of unnecessary. Arya got down to 1 HP like right off the bat, didn't really get to be as effective in the round as I'm sure he wanted to, but all is well that ends well. These pistol rounds are the more coin-tossy rounds of the game. That's what you can't ask for, a more even firepower difference between the two teams. So the fact that 3's Up were able to step up there is really important. I'm curious how long that will last for them, if they can even make it past this double scout setup that we're going to be seeing from Mythic. But hey, they passed the first test. That's the first hump they needed to get over.
Yeah, and I've been seeing this a lot of on CT side, if you do end up losing that pistol round, pulling out the scouts and doing everything that you can. A lot of second round forceps here, and it can be effective, but obviously it has a risk involved with it as well, which is why it's a strategy. It's something that you have to discuss, decide if you want to do, and it looks like that's what Mythic may be practicing in their spare time here. We do see Kiko pushing forward through Palace, though. He's going to come face-to-face with Lex, who is sitting there with that 5.7 in hand. Such a deadly gun. So yeah, it's something that I have it right up there on par with the Tech 9. Obviously, not quite the magazine size, but Kiko a little faster there on the trigger as he gets a second kill. Devil Walk drops to his gun as well, and it's now a 2v5 as we get such a clean entry onto site. 3's Up showing that they are not to be trifled with, and so far, I mean, obviously it's against a mostly save round here, but almost no damage put down on 3's Up as Kiko was just such a crazy entry fragger there this round.
Yeah, just picked up, as you said, all the frags so cleanly. No real opportunities for the Mythic players even to get going with their guns. Just instant one-tap, clean headshots. And Kiko continues to find more. That's going to be 3 on the round. Pit kind of pinned here. Knows he's the last man standing and knows the kind of where he is. Oh, missed that first shot. Great move. What was it? Arya juking and throwing that shoulder peek out there in kitchen so well, allowing his teammate to roll up. That's some good teamwork right there, and just good. Once again, more individual solid plays, showing that shoulder enough to bait out the shot, lets his teammate get close for, as we saw, the easy frag. Now Mythic significantly more poor now that they are down 2 scouts. Holding on to mostly just pistols, most of them not even upgraded. We're going to see 2 P2000s and USP only. XP3 and Anger going to be rocking some new pistols, but Lex does have a flash on him, so he may be able to catch some of these terrorists off guard here, and they are all grouped up. A little bit of blindness going out, but that is not, I'm sure, how they wanted to use that flash. Anger, last man standing, should surely be cleaned up.
no doubt about that. He does get dropped by A. We did see 2 members of Threes Up fall to those pistols of Mythic, but it's not going to be enough to take the round. It is going to be enough, however, to buy up, and Mythic will be pulling out the M4s. We do see a FAMAS in the hands of Anger, but if he can be as effective with that as he was with the Galil and AK last half, then it shouldn't be too much to worry about, and we'll see if Mythic can get back on track here. They've given up their lead, losing those 3 rounds, not given up their lead, but they are giving up that gap that they had, losing those 3 rounds in a row as we get very aggressive here. XP3 pushing up towards mid, all the way up the top of mid, but Threes Up waiting for it. XP3 able to secure that first kill, and it looks like Arya is going to drop down with it. He gets that smoke down. They're firing through it, hoping that he'll run right into their bullets. But look at the teamwork coming through. Arya does he's very patient there. He expected those sprays, knew that that was what's going to happen, and waits for his moment to come out of the doorway. But XP3 still sitting there watching the exit from T-Apps, is able to pick up Davey as well. It's a 3v5 now in favor of Mythic. Threes Up, very big round for them that they're dropping here. They could have really reset the economy of Mythic here and found themselves at likely a tie game. But it's now a 2v5. Bomb is in possession of Threes Up, but I feel a save coming in here from Arya and Jason, as Arya is going to peek around from top of mid. Doesn't get peeked out from XP3. XP3 almost gets dropped himself. In fact, he does. Arya gets the kill, and they're just going to have to hunker down here unless they move now, and they are going to. The flash coming to blind anybody on Cat. Arya getting another kill. Lex gets dropped. It's a 2v3 now, but 20 seconds left. Not much time to make something happen unless they move now. Pith, rather, will secure that kill onto Arya, but Jason does get the headshot onto Pith. He's running out of time. 8 seconds left. 7, 6. He pulls out the bomb, but doesn't realize that under Palace, he's going to be coming up against Devilwalk, who gets the kill. Mythic takes the round. Threes Up, now finding themselves in a very scary situation.
I mean, kind of, because they got so many frags that they might actually come out here, despite losing the round, with significantly more firepower than Mythic is able to throw back at them. And actually do end up some rough mental math in my head. It's gonna keep Mythic still in this buy round, but I mean that was a 4 or 5 man save there for Mythic that got turned into 1 man. Like, there's no reason why that round should have been worked down so low. Especially, I mean, like, I feel like Arya was so screwed in that corner, they just weren't able to finish, and they had such a problem closing out that round that they're paying for it right now on this round, where they're actually gaining even more by winning this. I mean, they're going to force Mythic onto a hard save here by winning this round, which I'm sure they'll be able to do. And this round, honestly, I would never tell a team to lose a round, but the fact that they were able to bring that round so close and then turn this round into a win, I think is more valuable than even, having a close round win in the last round.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. That does put Mythic in an extremely tight spot financially now. Anger pushed up close here, waiting for an exit frag possibly, and gets that onto Jason. But it's a 1v3. They know right where he's at. I don't think that they want to let him keep this AK in hand, but they don't have much of a choice. Kiko behind that flower pot, trying to use it for cover, and he doesn't get far enough away from the bomb. But he does take one member down with him, and unless it was Arya, I think, actually ended up going down with the bomb there as well, if I'm not mistaken. But 2 members of Threes Up were able to save their guns. Threes Up now in a pretty comfy spot financially, and like you said, Mythic brought down to less than 2K each. We see the P250 or the P250s come out for Pith, XP3, and Anger, and last second, no, he just tossed it over to Devilwalk actually. So. Yeah, anyways, we are back onto a save round here for Mythic, and Threes Up now has an opportunity to force a tie game here. Not, like to tie the game up, rather. But we'll see what they're able to pull out as we get in a very aggressive push from Mythic out mid. And we'll see 3 members of Mythic pushing up through Connector now. Threes Up have no idea that they've got the site to themselves. They're being very cautious, which is obviously the smart move to make, but they're going to be coming up against a lot of opposition once these smokes clear. Jason tossing that grenade into jungle, but it's not quite enough to bring down the 15 health Anger, as Abe does get dropped himself. Anger now picked up by Jason, with Davey coming up from behind. If he pushes towards window, he's going to find himself at duck hunting season, but Pith actually does turn around back towards window, but Davey pushing out of jungle, with that MAC-10, with 2 kills, bringing it to a 4v2. Lex and XP3, last men standing. Lex able to put that USPS to work, but not nearly enough time to get a defuse. He is going to try to save this AK, and I think he's going to do so successfully. Yeah, 72 health, plenty of life left to live, and that's a good move from him, getting that gun in hand. And Mythic will... I don't know. I'm trying to decide if they're going to try to force up to match this power of the AK, or if they're just going to see what Lex can do with it.
If I were them, I would see what Lex can do with it, and it looks like that's what they're going to be going for. They just don't have a healthy enough economy to accommodate that AK, and I would much, much rather see them save and make a full buy and then try to force around it. I'm just such a naturally anxious and worrying person that whenever I watch teams force up, it makes me nervous and scared for them. I hate to watch it. It's not my play style, so whenever teams validate it and just go with the save, the more conservative play, makes me feel so much more comfortable. So I'm happy to see them doing just that. And if they set up Lex properly, he could clean up with that AK. We saw CEVO-P do a decent job on their own pistol rounds as CTs, so we know it's certainly possible. But Abe and Arya teaming up to make this one quite difficult on the counter terrace as Abe picks up another one.
Yeah, and with Lex trying to make something happen with that AK connector, not able to do it, and CEVO-P save all 5 of their members, and Mythic will be buying up next round. CEVO-P, like you were saying, you mentioned any time that I brought it up, any time that I was saying that CEVO-P finding themselves in a rough spot, there are no fat ladies singing yet. This is it's not the game. It's still CEVO-P has every opportunity to play their T side as well as Mythic did, and they're showing right now that that's exactly what they're going to do. And we see sort of a mirror image here as CEVO-P first half lost 3, won 1, lost 3. Now they've flipped it around. They've won 3, lost 1, reset the economy of Mythic, and won 3 right out again. We'll see if Mythic can keep that mirror going and take this round for themselves, or if CEVO-P are going to upset that pattern and upset the economy of Mythic once more by taking this round. Abe steps out, does get that entry frag. Very good shooting from him. It's a 5v4 now. Devil Walk over in CT spawn near Ticket Booth. But Abe's alone on site. They're going for that rotate, and that's exactly what they're going to get. There's an empty B site now, as now we get a full rotate, but
They realized their mistake.
Yeah, 3's up now, though, rotating back towards A. And that gives Mythic time to spread back out and calm down for a second and get back onto these sites. Davey, though, with that smoke...
That could be a convincing smoke.
Yeah, that's something. I think that I don't know if they removed it or if they just very much heightened the skybox here on Mirage, but it's made for some really interesting smoking opportunities. From B site, you can smoke connector, and there's all sorts of really interesting things that you can do, and that will allow CEVO-P to get onto site using these smokes to try to block off connector, but it's actually a bad smoke. XP3 able to step around, but the bomb does go down. 4v4. And XP3 dropping Arya 3v4 now in favor of Mythic as the retake begins. Kiko back in Palace. Anger dropping Jason. Kiko responding, though, with the kill onto Pith. And it's a 2v3. Kiko is going to be something that they have to deal with. The bomb is planted for Davey slightly, but he steps out too far. Gets picked up by XP3. The round goes to Mythic.
Yeah, Mythic did a great job on that retake, doing what they do best, and that's fragging. But that was actually, I think, a really standout round for CEVO-P. Not because they were able to end it superbly, but they just did such a good job of controlling the pace of the round. They were dictating that engagement completely. They were choosing when they were finding CTs, when they were engaging with the CTs, and not the other way around, which is rare on a map like this where everything is already so close for the counter. They could set up in any position they want, and yet it was still the terrorists that were shuffling their feet up until that very last second when they were able to group up and lock in. So I actually really think that was a good round from both teams there. I mean, for CEVO-P, not much you could do about it. These Mythic players are really good, and you can't always outshoot really good players. But I really think strategically, CEVO-P was there on that round.
Yeah, we do see as they begin the A take, or at least the A take attempt, as they're not able to get past a lot of these fires. They finally push forward, but Devil Walk, what a flick, onto the head of Kiko, gets the first kill, gets the second, gets picked up by Jason finally, but XP3 there to help out with that op as Lex tries to flick over and pick up Davey, but ends up getting dropped himself. 2v3 in favor of Mythic. Anger getting aggressive on that fire, dropping himself down to 30 health, but doing everything he can to push forward ahead of CEVO-P, taking them by surprise here. And he does get behind triple stack, actually backs up a little bit. The bomb down on site right now, but they don't know that the bomb's down. We do see, who is that with the rotate right now? Pith, watching to see if the B rotate's going to begin, as Three's Up being very patient about this. I don't know if Anger saw that bomb or not. I have no idea if they know that it's down on site. They just might, though. XP3 looking a little too high there. Is going to regret it as Jason drops the op and then comes in for a second kill. All of a sudden, Three's Up is in the lead here. 2v1, but only 18 seconds to act, and Davey at 6 health, a sneeze away from dying. But the bomb is likely going to go down here as Jason gets in the nook of triple stack and does go down. And it's all of a sudden Anger is finding himself in a very rough and confusing spot here. And Jason turned that round around in an instant. But Anger, if he goes for the defuse and sticks it, that's his. 5 seconds. Doesn't know. And he does stick it now. Davey is not going to make it up in time. 1 second. And
Davey!
the defuse, that's rough. Oh, he even drops to Anger at the end there. Yeah, that was a rough decision to rotate from Palace.
Yeah, oh god, it was one of those decisions. I mean, it's so easy for us to say that's a rough decision when we get to see the extras and get to see how close he was, but I mean, it was such a good idea. Anger had no idea he was going to be coming from that angle. It was literally a matter of a second. If he had peeked a second earlier and just maybe even threw that shoulder out, even willing to give... The thing is, he had so low HP that even if he did throw out his shoulder, try to bait out some shots, he could have gotten wallbanged by 1 bullet so easily. It was such a rock or a hard place position. Either he stays in Palace and Anger knows exactly where he is and he's easy to get fragged, or he takes the gamble, rotate around to the A ramp, tries to outthink Anger, and unfortunately it just didn't roll his way. Mythic seems to be getting hot right now exactly when Three's Up. It does not want that.
Yeah, and Anger is about to come face-to-face with 2 members of Three's Up and ends up getting dropped by Davey. The bomb will go down on B side. It's a 2v2 with Lex at only 9 health. Davey steps back, watches the window, and drops Lex as Devil Walk, last man standing for Mythic. And Three's Up not wanting to give Mythic any more of a foothold than they already have in this half, and not wanting to let any sort of tie happen. Devil Walk was blinded for a moment there, has to get ahead of that Molotov, knows right where Davey's at because of it, though, and does end up dropping to the AK of Davey. And that's going to be the 11th win for Three's Up now, pushing themselves in that much more of a position to take this map. And Mythic, they're going to be forced to save, so it's likely going to be a 12-14. I'm interested to see if Mythic's going to go for anything crazy, any group pushes here, but we'll see what they decide to do on this round.
Yeah, it's going to be a potential 12-14 where Mythic won't even have that much of a stabilized economy. 2 rounds in a row was not really enough for them to find that economic solvency, especially since on round 24, the second round that they were able to string together, they were only able to keep 1 player alive. It's been an ongoing issue for Mythic. It's how they have let this game slip. Just rounds that could have been a lot cleaner, getting cut close for seemingly no reason, and then getting economically punished for it. Three's Up, I think, once again, despite the score, is absolutely in control here. It has been controlling this game for a while, as Abe just going to frag town with the rest of his teammates. Everyone getting a piece of the action there in some way. Abe and Davey each getting a 2K there. I mean, Mythic can't really buy up on this round cleanly if they want to win here. They're going to have to save. They already played it conservatively once. This is... If you play conservatively once, this is not the time to play aggressively. I think if they were going to play aggressively with a force buy, that would have been that round previously where they had the opportunity. Now, with their backs pushed so far against the wall, they can't afford that aggression, even if they want it. And Abe has been an entry god here on the Abe onside. Lex, good answer back, but Abe just so effective here at dragging in the Abe onside.
Yeah, he's finally brought down to where he's going to have to get a little safe here, but then responds with a grenade as well. 3 kills here for Abe coming into this round. Great entry from him, and he picks up a 4th. Are we going to see the ace here from Abe? If he had stepped out just an inch further, then he would have seen Anger, who is in connector right now, and does stop that ace from happening. But Abe with a phenomenal 4K getting on the site, even though it was the entry, or even though it was against a saving Mythic here. Still just some phenomenal shots there from Abe, showing why he is on this team. Three's Up now, 13-14, and Mythic getting a pretty comfortable bye coming into this. But again, if they're not able to take this round, then they may find themselves trying to chase a tie at that point.
Which would be absolute case. All of their problems stem to round 19. It was the round they won, but it was that 5-on-2 that got worked down to a one-on-one for absolutely no reason. And since then, Mythic has been unable to get their foothold back on this game, and 3Sub has just been playing incredibly clean Counter-Strike. I mean, we're now seeing Abe start to distance himself from the pack with great entry frags, but for the most part, they just have been playing so well as a team. Mythic's, a lot of their T side was predicated on having their star players make star plays, like we saw with Pit and Anger. And, you know, as I said, we're starting to see that a little bit with Abe, but it's just been across the board solid Counter-Strike from 3Sub that has allowed them to work themselves back into this. It hasn't been those star-studded highlight reel plays, just good coordination, and thank God they have Abe out there getting those entry frags.
Yeah, and they've stopped a lot of the crazy plays from happening that we saw early on in the game with Pith getting out onto site and making things happen with team flashes and things like that. Just we saw a lot of those really, like you were saying, crazy sort of highlight reel plays from Mythic early on. But yeah, 3Sub have really sort of buckled down to make this game work in their favor. XP3 is going to be smoked off on site as the bomb gets out pretty quickly here. We've got Lex pushing forward from stairs, but Arya doing his best to fire through that smoke to give his team an advantage on the head of us for just a moment. If only he knew how close he was to getting an easy kill there, but Devilwalk is able to drop Davey, actually. The bomb does go down, but one by one, 3Sub are falling apart. They need to hold on to this if they want to make it work, and Arya doing just that, but Abe gets dropped. Jason in a very tight spot and sandwich here. 1v2 now. Arya, what a flick! Last man standing. Bomb is not planted for him in any means, though. Oh, wow! The check 9 to end it. Arya takes it 13-14. What a rough round for Mythic. Arya, the savior of the round.
Oh my god, that was a 2-on-2 where both of the terrorists got hit down to 1 HP.
Yes, that was insane.
Arya, those are the star-studded plays, those highlight reel plays that 3Sub had not been producing, but might have just won them the game based off that. That was absolutely out of control. Had a great read on that. I thought he was going to overextend and run his way right into Anger. He didn't. He stayed back, hit the flick shot with the Tech 9. I don't, I can't even remember if these League players get to see the damage they do in between rounds. I don't know if that shows up in console anymore, but oh man, if you're Anger, you gotta be kicking yourself, especially since he's been playing so well all over the place, and that should have been, in comparison to the rest of his frags, the easy one. That was the 1 HP, easy cleanup frag, hop on the bomb, take your win, and go. We'll catch you on map 2, but instead, Arya just rips it right away from them with 1 HP.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well as Anger's been doing. It's just so crazy to see him not able to secure that 1 HP kill onto Arya, and Arya, in fact, with the pistol, albeit a Tech 9, you know, I mean, it's basically a baby AK in your hands, but yeah, very, very...
Love it or hate it, it works.
Yeah, it's like you said, love it or hate it, it works, and that's the exact same thing with guns like the auto sniper and things like that. Love it or hate it, that's what works. But anyways, we do see the B take begin here. Lots of grenades, lots of Molotovs. The flash is coming out. Anchor, though, right under that window, is able to drop Davey as XP3 gets a kill as well. Abe with the fire. I don't know if Anger just didn't know that the fire was there or what exactly happened, but he stepped right into it and ended up killing himself by accident. Wow. Lex tried to push through that smoke and is denied. The bomb will go down thanks to Jason as Pith and Devilwalk try for this retake. Pith pushing up through market. That grenade is going to drop. Ooh, both of them. 14 health on Pith, 41 on Devilwalk. 3Sub in a very comfortable spot here. But Mythic, they're going to have to do something. Only 14 HP. And Pith is going to be the first one to go out for that information read. Sees the head of Abe on the other side there at bench, but he does get dropped by Arya. It's a 1v2 now. Devilwalk running out of time with that FAMAS, watching Van, not the right side, doesn't flick down fast enough. Jason gets the kill, and 3Sub takes it 15-14. What a second round for 3Sub here.
I'm near speechless. I mean, 3Sub has just been playing absolutely fantastically. Combination of a stroke of bad luck for Mythic there and Anger going down. I guess stepping into a fire that he didn't realize had spread so far, and just good play from 3Sub is gonna lead to that yielded B bomb site. And wow, 15-14. I did not think we would ever reach this point, and I'm absolutely floored with how 3Sub's been able to play. I mean, okay, to be honest, they've been playing well, but like I feel like this has been more of Mythic just choking more so than 3Sub playing particularly well. I mean, Threes Up has been playing fine. They've been doing exactly what they need to do at every opportunity. And that huge frag from Arya, I may have won them the game. But they've just been playing such standard, crisp Counter-Strike, and Mythic has no answer for it. They just can't lock up these rounds that they should be. There's 1, 2, 3 rounds that I'm seeing that were worked down to one-on-ones that Mythic very easily could have won at any opportunity had they won just one of the one-on-ones. They would have already locked up this game, but just can't close out these rounds.
Yeah, notice the score here is, or the player scores here with Anger, 30 kills for his team, but the next closest, he's got 2 players with only 19 chasing pretty far behind, and he's really stepped up for his team. Oh, Davey, I guess came through connector there, didn't get spotted out by Devil Walk, can't secure the kill, though he's out on site all alone.
Davey.
The bomb, though, what? This is an interesting play. This is not what we've been seeing from Threes Up so far. This has been such an unorganized push here. Davey got out in the middle of sight and was alone. The rest of his teammates were still over near Palace entrance. And Jason does spot out the head of XP3, but not able to secure that kill. He's the last man standing now, and we're going to be going into overtime.
Yeah, really clean last round there for Mythic, keeping 4 players alive. Davey airballed, right? I mean, I don't even know how else to... The problem was that he locked in on a player that was jumping, and this game, if is some not so great jumping hitboxes. Combine that with some nerves, and Threes Up take a map that they should have had a huge comeback win and kind of throw it right back into limbo. Mythic going to be staying on their own CT side and getting a huge cash influx, which is exactly what Threes Up didn't want there and is not going to want going forward. I feel like I just went from Arya won them the game to they may lose this one in overtime. I honestly think this is just going to be such a close overtime here. I don't think Mythic is going to be making the same mistakes. I think they are experienced enough to be realizing what was working, what was not working for them, and then you throw those rifles back in their hands. They're good shooters. I think Threes Up could lose this game still.
Yeah, that was a really... It was interesting to see. You had been mentioning just how cleanly Threes Up has been playing, just solid Counter-Strike, great team plays, things like that. But then all of a sudden we see Davey standing in the middle of 3 players from Mythic out on A site alone. And that's sort of... I don't know. I looked up at the map thinking, okay, it's a fake. The rest of the team's going B. Nope. The rest of the team was just... I don't know if the team was behind or if Davey was ahead, but... there was a miscommunication somewhere along the line, and Davey got out too early. Yeah,
I think he just kind of snuck into a position that he even didn't realize was like he just kind of like accidented his way there, and then he tried to force a play rather than letting one naturally come to him, and took those AK shots on who was that Devil Walk that was jumping with the scout. I don't even remember, but yeah, that's just not the engagement you want there, and I do feel bad. I feel like it's so easy to like pick on him there, as it was just like such a clear whiff. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, but you cannot take away from Davia the rest of the effective fragging that he's been doing with his team. I mean, yeah, like a tough way to push the game into overtime, but they wouldn't even be close to overtime if it wasn't for the consistent fragging of Davey, Jason, R, Abe, and really everybody. Kiko kind of behind on the scoreboard with only 13 frags, bottom fragging for the entire game-ish, but still doing a lot of damage even though he isn't always raking in the frags. Sitting on 9 assists, just 1 assist from that old triple-double. So yeah, a real distribution of effort coming out from Threes Up, where it's been very anger-centric, I think, over towards Mythic.
Yeah, with Anger being the only positive player on Mythic, you can see just how much his team's relying on him right now. And if Threes Up can get him out of the game early, they're seemingly going to drastically improve their chances of winning these rounds. So starting off, first round of overtime, Threes Up going to be taking T side on this half of OT. It's going to be a best of 6 here, I believe. And so we'll see what they're able to make happen as the bomb makes its way early on over towards B site. We don't see a lot of early B pushes here from Threes Up on T side. A lot of A executes, a lot of sort of A fakes with a B push, but no real just straight up B rushes or anything like that. And I think that's what was winning Threes Up a lot of the rounds that they won, was aggressive gameplay and quick gameplay. While they worked as a team, they worked well together, but it's the rounds that they've slowed down that seem to be the ones that they have actually dropped the ball on. So we'll see how they make this slow play work out in their favor. We do have all 5 members of Threes Up grouped over towards B right now. We do now see a rotate happening from Abe as he gets a smoke over likely towards Connector to try to fake some sort of some focus, if you will, onto Cat and onto Mid and off of Apartments, which is exactly where the bomb is about to make its way out of. Anger jumping over towards Van. They do smoke their way out of that, but Pith is going to be directly under that window, allowing those flashes to come from behind him rather than blind him. And 3 quick kills for Mythic is going to put Threes Up in a rough spot. The crossfire is not going to allow Kiko to do anything there, and Mythic takes a clean round.
Yeah, this is, I think, going to be Mythic's return to form here. Or it should be, given the opportunity that Threes Up has afforded them, blessing them with this overtime here. Really not even the other way around. But what was working for Mythic early on, especially in that original gun round, that crazy round that I still think led to Mythic spiraling, what they did so well was taking aggressive control, but aggressive control of the map with a teammate. And we're starting to see some more of that, particularly this round with Pitt pushing down through the underpass, getting a ton of information with his teammate Anger there, clearing out the entire half of the map. We saw it on that initial rifle round with their mid push, and now they're able to comfortably say, hey, half of this map is empty. All 3 of their players know exactly where to look, and they shouldn't be able to get zoned out so easily. But seems like so far Threes Up are doing a good job of getting themselves out there onto the bomb site. Jason R, real deep in the site, needs to start fragging with his buddy Arya, who's also pushed up.
Yeah, and this is what we saw from them that was working. These just clean executes, good gameplay, just typical Counter-Strike. And Abe on the other side of that smoke is able to drop. What did Kiko? What happened with Kiko? What did I miss?
He was planting the bomb and got hit down to like 1 HP and was just blessed by the Counter-Strike gods that he didn't get killed there. But either way, Mythic, once again, returning to form, super clean round, not getting fooled by Threes Up. Mythic doing just such a good job with this map control. They've been choosing right. A little bit of luck, who cares? Once again, it's working for Mythic as they're cutting off huge portions of the map.
Yeah, and keep in mind, folks, if Mythic can win all 3 rounds this first half, they only have to win 1 on their T side, which, as we saw, they started out on with a bang. They were very strong on their T side, taking it 11-4, and so, yeah, they don't. I think that Mythic is pretty comfortable with their current situation. Taking 2 rounds on CT side is going to already make them kind of happy. We'll see if they're able to take this 3rd and find themselves in an even better situation. They are not letting that push through connector happen, though. Pith very aggressively pushed up, but Abe sneaking into ladder room. I don't think they have any idea that he's there. XP3, if he's not watching his side, is going to get caught out, but does step forward just in time. And the flat... Whoa! Oh. What a collateral, dropping both Kiko and Arya. Great shot there from XP3, bringing it to a 3v2 all of a sudden. And Davey, though, coming around, Abe, rather, is the one that's going to get that kill. Pitt from mid does get some damage down onto Davey, but gets dropped down to 32 HP himself. Steps back around, gets picked up by Abe. Anger coming from jungle. It gets a kill in the fire, but the play is at his feet. Steps right back out and gets a kill onto Davey. This is the Anger that we know and love.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly just bad luck with that star play from Arya before. It just didn't go his way. We've seen so like that was one instance. Like, it's similar with the Davey situation. Like, you see that one instance of them messing up, and it's so easy for that one to just be implanted in your memory. What you don't see is every other round that goes absolutely right for them, or where they make a huge play. He was integral in their B holds before. He was taking map control. He wins that 1-on-2. Despite that one, albeit egregious mistake, Anger is still very much angry here and hunting for these frags. I am not surprised in that 3 straight win by Mythic in the least. I really believe Mythic had their ability to strike while the iron was hot, and they kind of flopped. I really think Mythic knew what wasn't working for them. They just were struggling so badly to correct it, and once they got that 10K per person cash influx, that was the oomph they needed to get their aggression going again, to get some more confidence, to believe in their guns and their shooting, and we'll see if this carries over to the T side as XP3 trying to find Jason R here.
it's going to be. And like I said, Mythic, they only need to win one of these rounds. And we saw such strong gameplay from them as terrorists first half, so we'll see if they're able to make it just as effective here in overtime as the push begins. Very aggressive mid presence here. Lex dropping Arya, and that's going to give Mythic the man advantage that they need as they quickly try to take advantage of this. But Van does get mollied off. Kiko waiting for anybody to drop from window or from Van. Gets a first kill. Can't secure the second. It's a 2v4 now. Davey and Abe, last man standing as Lex is on site. Will not secure on the kill onto Davey. Phenomenal turn from Davey to get that second kill. It's a 2v2, 2v1 now. Devil Walk, last man standing up in apps. They know where he's at. Bomb's knocks down. Three's up, takes the round.
They should let me play one of these final rounds. I'm pretty confident I can lock up some of these. I feel like we're just seeing Mythic taste the glory and then throw it all away at the last second for seemingly no I mean, obviously there's like a reason, like missing shots and just average positioning, not really setting themselves up for complete success and rushing to the win rather than setting up and working as a team. But come on, Mythic, like you're such a good group of players. Just like close out a round, like win. I mean, it seems like a crazy thing to say, like just win, but like come on, just win.
Yeah, yesterday you said tomorrow, just do it. I mean, don't let your dreams be dreams, guys. Come on.
I've still never seen that.
You need to watch it. It's pretty phenomenal. It's pop culture now. But yeah, Davey should not have been able to turn to get that second kill. That's something that is obvious there, but it's strange that he was. But we'll see if Mythic is able to they only need one round one here, so it's not going to be. They may be sweating a little bit, but they're not scared quite yet. They've obviously, it's overtime. They've got plenty of money to make something happen here, and they are quietly making their way over towards A site. No frags have been traded on either side yet, and yeah, they're gonna have their work cut out for them getting onto site here. No smokes in hand. Abe not quite securing any kills there. Gets some decent damage down, and then just Molotovs and backs away. Smart move from him as he brought two members down very low, both Pith and Lex sitting low as Devil Walk makes his way through the fire. XP3 stepping out as well. We see a trade. Jason getting a kill as Pith responds with a kill onto Jason, and then gets very aggressive over towards jungle to pick up another. It's a 2v2 now. Davey has sneezed from death, but the bomb is knocked down. Arya securing that kill. Last man standing is Pith. 20 HP though, steps out and gets dropped by Davey. Had some team damage from Devil Walk as well, but three's up. Man, they are clawing to stay in this one.
Yeah, and given their Abe's really solid initial positioning over there towards the E-box stairs, or what used to be the E-box stairs by Connector, looking over into the A ramp, I thought he was going to absolutely clean up. Got 2 dings for his trouble. It seems like that was enough damage to get his team in there, but that was still a round that Threes Up actually kind of slipped on a little bit and cut that one a little closer than they should have, considering their solid early positioning. Either way, all is well. That ends well. They need to win one more round to push this to double overtime, and Davey's doing just that for the team with his buddy Arya. Damage going back and forth, though, and still Mythic retaining some semblance of an advantage before Kiko rips it away.
Yep, Kiko dropping it back in the favor of Threes Up again. Mythic, notice how much more quickly they're getting onto site here than they have been. They're being very aggressive and very much trying to make this happen a little more speedy than what Threes Up may be used to from them. Anger trying to play a little chicken here with Jason, see who's going to peek at the wrong time. Kiko has been spotted out over towards mid, gets dropped down to 26 health there from the quick reflexes of Anger, but Jason was just a little bit quicker there. 1v3 now. Pith, last man standing. Kiko's got his eyes. No, he's just on the other side of that wall there, actually. Pith does get the bomb, but they know now that a bomb plant would not be the worst thing in the world, as then they would just have to go for the retake. They heard the buttons get pushed, but the bomb does not go down. It begins, but Davey, 8 health. Look at that unfortunate grenade from Pith. And Threes Up, forcing it into second overtime here. Phenomenal. Threes Up, they're that cornered animal now. They're what Mythic were before. That every time that victory is not in their hands, they just claw their way back to hold on by a thread.
Yeah, I still can't shake the feeling that this is more of like a Mythic just failing to do what they know they need to do more so than it is threes up. Like really, like threes up is just like they're. I mean, I'm baffled as you can see. Just the Mythic's inability to lock up some rounds here. I mean, I really think they should have won just on round 4. They should have won this 4 straight rounds with the lead they built themselves up, and then the opportunity in that 4-on-2 that they had in round 4 of OT1. And then once you give threes up some momentum, you let Abe get in a good position. They're just gonna clean up these rounds with fundamental Counter-Strike. I mean, that has to be so frustrating. I mean, I'm super frustrated as a spectator. Like, if you're Anger, you must be losing your mind right now. I assume the name Anger must stem from, I don't know, some kind of, I don't know. You probably used to get mad back in the day when you was a kid and the name just stuck. But like, how could you not be angry just watching this?
Yeah,
so many opportunities for Mythic to step up. They just like. And I don't know. I know I'm dealing with players that are like really good, and watching them just flounder at like the one time where they need to be solid, and then solid when it doesn't really matter when they're just trading. It really baffles me sometimes.
Yeah, and it's really got to be rough being such a high-end top fragger right now, but not being able to secure the skill. If Jason just stepped out right now, he'd have been able to stop that bomb plant, but Devil Walk does end up getting dropped. As does Anger, and now it's a 2v2. Threes up suddenly in a good position. That Molotov is very well placed. XP3, it's going to get the defuse. Look at this. XP3, oh, steps out. Can't quite get that first shot. I don't know if it was a miscommunication as to where the bomb was or what, but the bomb does end up being defused. Mythic taking it, or I'm sorry, Threes up taking it, rather. They're now putting themselves in the lead, and Mythic are going to have to be the ones to respond. That was, frustration is just sort of the key word of the game today.
Oh man, like even I'm letting out those like guttural, just like ugh, and oh my, it's just like it has to be so frustrating if you're one of the Mythic players, constantly taking early advantages or at the very least even decent trades and just not being able to pull the trigger when you finally need it. And Davey, huge spray down here, 2 solid frags from him, picking up the last one with his teammate Jason R. It's gonna effectively lock up round 2 of OT2 here, as Lex goes down as well. Although he did pick up 2, that was a really nice flick shot that Lex just hit.
Yeah, that was really sexy headshot there at the end, but Devil Walk is really going to have his work cut out for him. He actually wants to make something happen. Does pick up 1 kill, still has 78 health, plenty of life left to use, and ends up getting dropped himself, though. Arya taking him out, and Threes up. 20-18. They're going to find themselves in the same position Mythic was. If they can win this round, they'll only need 1 on T side. And, I feel like a little deja vu here. Threes up had such a great T side this second half, so it's right back to where we were last overtime. It's, these have just been such mirror halves, both in-game and in overtime, so it's going to be interesting to see what Mythic can try to pull out of the hat here.
Yeah, that feeling that I got when Threes Up lost round 30 and it got pushed to overtime, where it was like, oh man, like Mythic is not going to slip. They're going to get right back on and dominate, was the exact same feeling I had when it got pushed to double overtime and they just weren't able to win one of those terrorist side rounds. Just that similar heart sink where it's like, all right, this is it. Like, this game has been such a roller coaster of emotions. And I think Threes Up is finally putting themselves in a position where they can clean this up and win and bring this one back really from the depths of Counter-Strike hell.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just such, like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much chaos going on in this game now. Kiko, whoa! Around the corner, XP3 with the insta-kill with the P250. Arya responding with the kill on the Anger, and it's just trade after trade. 3v3 now with the bomb on site, but Davey coming around with that 5-7, securing the kill himself. And Devil Walk, last man standing, gets a kill onto Jason, then gets dropped down to 14 health thanks to Davey. And Abe does end up finishing it. Threes Up finding themselves in the exact same position that Mythic was in. And so we'll see if Threes Up can do a little bit better job of actually securing this win now.
I really think they will. I think both of these teams have had ample opportunity to snatch the win away from the other team and bring this is game 1. This is a crazy series. Bring this game 1 home, but I think the fact that Mythic had it handed to them. They had a 4-on-2 on match point, and they couldn't win. Like, if you're not going to win that round, which one are you going to win? I think they've missed their opportunity to lock up this game. I think Threes Up is now pulling ahead because they must be more cool, calm, collected, playing as a team. I don't really know what it is anymore, but if Mythic goes 3 straight here, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, this is just a game of comebacks so far. I mean, each time we've seen, and it's the game of Threes Up's comebacks more than anything. I mean, obviously Threes Up had some huge comeback second half, but they weren't able to secure the win. Then Mythic, again, first overtime rather, got themselves that 3-win advantage, but then Threes Up just coming right back. And now I think Threes Up, like you said, are going to just end up securing that. But yeah, Arya steps out, gets that kill onto Lex, gets a second kill as well. Leading in with that op, doing a great job for his team so far. A little bit of Ghost V lag there, but Arya jumping all the way over towards window. Jason helping out too, dropping XP3 before taking a little bit of damage from Cat himself. It's a 2v5 now. Looks like Threes Up will finally be able to secure this as Devil Walk drops as well. Last man standing is Anger. And if we see some crazy 5K here from Anger, okay, it begins. Abe is dropped. Arya drops. Nope, he does end up putting that Tech 9 to use once again. Thank you very much, Arya, for ending that Threes Up. Takes the first game of tonight, 22-18. Mythic doing everything that they can, but not able to secure that win. Coming up next, we've got Dust 2, and we'll see if it could be just as exciting as that first map.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it has potential, but that was Mythic's map choice. That was the map where they're saying, "Hey, we think we have the best chances of all these maps that are not banned. We think this is the map that we have the best chance of winning." And the fact that they had such a distant lead multiple times, like not only to win the game in regulation, but then that 3-round buffer in overtime, and then to still lose on your own map pick, I'm not so sure if that. It doesn't feel good going into Dust 2. I feel like this is one where Threes Up is going to be able to make it more competitive from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, if Threes Up can just get it going early, they might be able to just shut Mythic out of the series in what is a crazy turn of events there. I'm a sweaty mess over here, and I'm sure the viewers out there who have their skins on the line are as well. You know, I still believe in Mythic. I think, as I said, they have a really upsettable lineup. They were able to cut that one really close. I think they should have won it. I think they think they should have won it, and I'm curious how that's going to dictate their play here moving on to Dust 2.
Yeah, mentally that can be such a strain to have to realize what just happened and how close they were to victory so many times. But hopefully they can shake that off and get into this map as strongly as they can manage. And yeah, like we were saying at the beginning of this is going to be an exciting game. First one certainly was going into double overtime, and so we'll see who can end up taking this map as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to be taking a quick break. Did you just say that? Did I just have a complete stroke?
Yeah, I think we are going to go to break. So guys, we'll be back with you here on Dust 2, Mythic versus Threes Up, and stick around. We'll be back with you shortly.